Shalom. Shalom and welcome. This is Quick Words, a part of Man's Final Steps series. Today is March 24th, 2014. My name is Symmanayah, and Quick Words represents messages inside 10 minutes plus or minus a minute or two that are geared towards things to consider during end times. End time things to consider. It is a message to those who will be among the ranks of the 144,000 and multitude mentioned in Revelations chapter 7 and 14. With that said, my brothers and sisters, allow me to begin first with the following regarding the title of this segment, which is again, Congestion Times. Congestion Times. Revelation 7:4 reads, "And I heard the number of those who were sealed, 144,000 sealed out of all tribes of the children of Yasharal." Revelation 7:9, "After this I looked and saw a great crowd which no one was able to count, out of all nations and tribes and peoples and tongues, standing before the throne and before the Lamb, dressed in white robes and palm branches in their hands." Isaiah 11:12, "And he shall raise a banner for the nation, and gather the outcasts of Yasharal, and assemble the dispersed of Yehudah from the four corners of the earth." Jeremiah 23:3, "Therefore I shall gather the remnant of my flock out of all the lands where I have driven them, and shall bring them back to their fold, and they shall bear an increase." My brothers and sisters, we see numbers or words describing a large group, as in Revelation 7:4 and 7:9. Although 7:9 say before the throne, if you read that chapter in full, you will see that great multitude, it states that it was those who were coming out of the great tribulation. I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, Isaiah 11:12 and Jeremiah 23:3 that speaks of a gathering. I have spoken in times past that there will be a final exodus. Will we soon witness the great tribulation before our very eyes? And keep in mind these verses as well. 1 Thessalonians 5:9, "Because Elohim did not appoint us to wrath, but to obtain deliverance through our Master Yahushua Messiah." Ephesians 5:6, "Let no one deceive you with empty words, for because of these the wrath of Elohim comes upon the sons of disobedience." 2 Thessalonians 2:5-7 reads, "Do you not remember that I told you this while I was still with you? And now you know what restrains for him to be revealed in his time. For the secret of lawlessness is already at work, but only until he who now restrains come out of the midst." Pray, my brothers and sisters. That was 2 Thessalonians 2, verses 5-7. Pray to discern the relevance of these scriptures, both literal and after you believe they have been made alive to you by the Spirit of Yahushua. Now consider reading Matthew 24th chapter and Luke 21st chapter, and ask yourself, will chaos, violence, civil unrest, economic distress, and much more occur when people find it very difficult to get drinking water or get food? Also consider examining Revelation 6:8 and 9:18, which talks about multiple deaths. A fourth of the population will be killed during one of the seals being opened, and a third of the population being killed during one of the trumpets being blown. If you do the math, it will be well over 3.6 billion people possibly killed during the Great Tribulation as a result of one of the seals being opened and another occasion when one of the trumpets are blown. My brothers and sisters, there will be a time when people will frantically run to and fro, seeking safety. This will be a time of much congestion and gridlock. Pray to discern and understand what must be done. I pray that we are able to move proactively as guided by the Spirit of Yahushua. The 144,000 and multitude will emerge and be guided to a safe place to avoid the coming wrath of the Almighty Father Yahuwah. We will participate in end-time prophecy fulfillment. We will come to see and recognize that we are moving close to the tribulation time. Yes, my brothers and sisters, many read, many say that they believe passionately, many take a stance to represent the reign of Yahushua, to represent themselves as children of the Almighty Father Yahuwah. But how many of us have given thought to the details of end-time prophecy? How many of us have given thought to when people begin to run frantically as a result of extreme famine, drought, pestilence, and disease? I have mentioned this in times past, and I will continue to speak as I am compelled, my brothers and sisters. Congestion times are ahead. Recently, I made a third trip to Virginia, this time with my wife and some other family members. 2 years prior, my wife and I visited Virginia, and 3 years prior. So 3 years and 3 separate instances we visited the state of Virginia, traveling from Indiana. And en route, my brothers and sisters, I noticed that there were an abundance of cars and trucks and vehicles on the highways. The second trip, I believe it was due because it was one of the celebrated so-called holidays. But the other 2 trips were not during any special occasion. And I noticed there was much congestion along the highways. We had to cross rivers, thus we rode across bridges. We had to drive through mountains. It was a time-consuming trip, traveling at speeds that were acceptable along the highway. It took us some time to get there. My point in bringing this example up, my brothers and sisters, is that if the highways, if the roadways were congested during these trips, what do you imagine the roadways would be once people realize we are approaching end times? Once people begin to realize we are entering into the tribulation period. What do you think the highways and the roadways and the railways and the ports and airports, what type of congestion do you think will be when people start scrambling trying to find food as famine, severe food shortages, as grocery stores become emptied, as fresh water becomes scarce? Do you not think that people will start looking to move and go to where there's water and food? It may seem all far-fetched. It may seem like an imagination. It may seem like these are words of an alarmist. But look around, my brothers and sisters. Seek out what is occurring in your community and beyond. And it will not take you much time to discover that drought is increasing across the globe. And where there's no water, there will be no food production. Seek out the facts, my brothers and sisters. We have entered into areas in a time which we've never experienced, with a population of over 7 billion on the planet. Yes, soon and very soon, trying conditions will become so obvious, as well as how close we are towards the return of our Mashiach as it relates to the tribulation period, that many will begin to frantically seek out where to go and what they must do. Many will come to realize by proof that there is no pre-tribulation rapture, as some say it will be. They will come to realize that they, along with us and many others, will go through the tribulation period, those that are called to participate in such events. My brothers and sisters, congestion times come. They are coming. Do not get discouraged or be overtaken with unbelief. The final exodus will take shape. The 144,000 and multitude will emerge. The children of obedience will survive congestion times, as the Spirit of Yahushua will prove. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, stay tuned as this series, Quick Words, continues, a part of man's final steps. Shalom, shalom, shalom.